Hello, Fabulous Capricorn. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of July 2016, Love Focus. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. What an awesome month it is. And it is awesome because there's lots of emotion in the air and all of us are going to be feeling this, and this is going to speak to the heart of you. And in particular, of all the sky that is going to have an important month in the context of love, it certainly is you. And that is because early in the month we have got a new moon in your opposite sign speaking to Pluto in your sign. And then you add to that mid-month a full moon in your sign. Well, it's set to be a super important month for you all around. For those of you in an established bond, this is going to speak right to the heart of you. You can expect early in the month to have some developments take place, some sense of a beginning with this person. As I look at this sky, it does look like, and it does have a lot of energy that is moment of truth energy, where it comes to a significant partnership and the desire, the understanding that this honesty, this clarity, what comes forward now has to set the foundation for either starting fresh together or not, or deciding that you've got to go a different way. That doesn't look likely. It doesn't look likely to be the end of a relationship. And I say this because we've got a supportive Jupiter, we've got a supportive Mars. All of this suggests being empowered, feeling a sense of positivity. It's very possible now that your partner will be going through some changes that are going to speak to your reality and some of the logistical stuff within the relationship. So this could be your partner getting a new job, needing to move, needing to travel for some reason, and you having to be part of that. This can also suggest the change of the dynamic in some significant way. So this could be solidifying the bond that much more. This could be a proposal. This could be deciding whether or not this really is the person for you and feeling committed to it that much more deeply. And this can be a sense, a clarity, if you will. If there have been any ambiguities before, this can be the bare bones, if you will. Are we together or are we not? Is this for life? Is it not? Is this something that I really feel I can truly be with for the rest of my life or for the foreseeable future or not? These are going to be the type of moment of truth questions that are going to be arising for you. And if there's anywhere where it hasn't been as clear, it hasn't been as clearly demarcated which direction the two of you are going, what it is that you're meant to do together, this is going to be one of those times where it becomes as clear as it's going to get. And so if you really are with this person and you really feel committed, then this is going to be the time when the relationship changes in some way that brings you that much closer to this person. If you're really not, then this is going to become obvious too. This type of energy is also, to be straightforward with you here, this is very ultimatum type of energy, okay? And it's serious. So what I mean by that is if your partner, if you're with somebody for a while and they come to you and they say, if you are not going to marry me within the next year, tell me now and it's over, you better believe that's a serious thing that they're saying. They're very likely to stick to that. And that may be true for you as well. You may be coming to a point where you're saying to yourself, okay, what is this relationship meant to be? Right? One of you may come to the other person and say, look, I'm telling you right now, I don't want this, I do want this. Are you on the same page or not? And if you're not, then this is going to be a time when that has to be discussed. It has to come forward. So regardless, it is a brand new beginning with this person. It could also be really very honest about the things that have hurt the two of you in the past and the decision to let that go, to decide that that's not going to be what defines you in the future, that it no longer matters, that you're not going to talk about it anymore. But this could also be realizing that that stuff is not going away, and now are you going to move forward with this or not? So there's a strong sense of consequence, a strong sense of honesty with this particular new moon. As we move to the middle of the month, there is a full moon and it's in your sign. Now, this does suggest that you are going through some changes. You need to accept some truths about yourself and what you've accepted. And this can absolutely speak to the realm of love. So wherever it is that maybe you haven't been honest or you haven't been honest with yourself, it is going to come forward very clearly to you. And it might be a little bit of a moment that surprises you, a moment of awareness, but it is absolutely clear. And again, it empowers you to make a decision as to what you really need. Now, this reaches in the middle of the month very much to the heart of you. So this is very much about what's happening with you on a level of spirit, on a level of soul, and deciding what your heart truly needs. And in some cases, surprising yourself by realizing what your heart truly needs. Now, what I also think is really interesting about this full moon is sometimes it's not what you think it is, right? Because there's a surprise element here. So it might be that you've had some dynamic, some difficulty playing out with your partner, and then you come to the realization quite by surprise that it was never really about them, that there was something else in your life that was frustrating you, that wasn't working for you, and you were thinking that it has to do with the relationship, but it never really did, or it never really was that much about it. It was about some other situation that now you're ready to address and to heal as your life starts to change and as your self-definition starts to change as well. In some way, there is a moment of truth that lends itself to letting go, lends itself to a feeling of lightness. And again, it might not be what you think, it might not be what you realize. I wouldn't be surprised at all if you came to realize that some area, something that has felt heavy on your soul was not about your relationship, was about something totally different, and now you're ready to realize it and own it and change it. That there might have been some misdirection happening there. It is possible, but it's also possible that's not the case as well. It's in light of your own circumstances, in light of your own unique chart. But regardless, it is truth that sets you free and lends itself to emotional freedom. For those of you open to meeting someone new, when we have important lunar phenomenon in your opposite sign, there is somebody there. You are learning lessons in love. And if anybody is likely to have a very, in some cases, overpowering, very faded feeling type of attraction to another person, it very well would be you. Somebody new, okay? So this is a new moon. This is new possibilities, new prospects may very well show up for you that are just downright irresistible. There's a lot going on under the surface that might not be obvious right away, so do keep that in mind. That very well may lend itself to the truth that is revealed about you and your heart and the things that you've believed and told yourself about what you deserve and who you are may very well be part of the picture in the middle of the month. And so this may be that catalyst, if you will. It might be the experience that lends itself to the realization mid-month. But it does look like it is very possible that someone shows up. The feelings are very strong. What you do with it, completely up to you. But very possible that someone shows up and you feel very compelled to go in that direction. And of course, that's always your choice. But that attraction is going to be there. Also possible with this is an attraction to somebody that's not appropriate. It might not be convenient. It might not be right for whatever reason. And again, completely up to you, whatever it is that feels right for you to do, but you are going to get a whole other perspective mid-month. That is pretty much certain. And ultimately that perspective is a lot more personal as to what you've believed, what it is that you hold within you, what it is that's happening within you, heart and soul. And that's really the value of this sky. It's about seeing what's really going on with you based on who it is that you are drawn to. Now, one thing I will say, if it's someone new who shows up, you know, I saw something online the other day and I remember interacting with a friend and fan online regarding it. Basically, you know, I'm really of the belief that, you know, relationships, they can challenge us, right? That's where it's hard. The best of relationships, ultimately, because they're about providing a safe space for us to do our work and to see ourselves more honestly and to decide who we really want to be, the parts of us we like, who we don't want to be, the parts of us we desire to change. And that can come about in ways that aren't always easy, and change isn't always easy. So that's where relationships can have moments that are hard. But when it's right, and especially in the beginning when it's right, there's an ease to how things come about. There's an ease to how things fall together, how they transpire. If you find yourself really longing for another person or feeling like, you've got to be the one to do all the contacting, do all the calling, regardless of gender or gender dynamics, regardless of any of that. If you feel like there's energy draining, right? If you feel like there's this aching and this longing and this chasing happening and it's not being reciprocated, that's not good. Okay, I'll tell you right now, that's normally not a good start. Normally, when you meet somebody new, there's a certain ease with which it transpires in the beginning. The challenges may be there, they'll come about in due time, but at least in the beginning, there's a naturalness to how things come about. There's an ease with which you're able to get along with this person. When you want to make plans, they're available, and vice versa. One person isn't doing all the calling. There's a mutual reception happening there. There's a desire to see each other, and it's clear, and there's a certain equality in that as well. That's when it's right. If you find yourself, I've seen it, I've had people tell me that, they were with somebody and it was a really strong attraction, but, on the first date, they had an argument. That tells you something. If you find yourself interacting with somebody like that and the first date, there's some argument, that should be, that should be a little signal to you, like, okay, maybe this is what life would be like with this person. What's it going to be like 3 months from now, 6 months from now with somebody with this type of dynamic playing out? So it's important for you to recognize that, especially with a sky like this, and to strive to be honest with yourself, and also to allow yourself to see what it is that you believe about love. You have a lot more options than you realize, and that's one thing that you are going to want to remember over the course of this month, and particularly earlier this month. You have options, you have possibilities. Sometimes, yes, you may feel more drawn to a certain person than you may to another, but if you can feel it once, you can feel it again. And if you can feel it a certain way, you can feel it an even better way as well. That's the great thing about life. Life is abundant. There is abundance in the universe, and that absolutely includes in love as well, as you are about to realize as you go on a very fateful, but ultimately very purposeful and very peaceful journey over the course of this month. Head over to my website right now to get early access to the Jupiter Special Horoscopes. In the month of September, Jupiter will change signs, will move into the sign of Libra. This is so exciting, as all of us in some way are going to notice our blessings shift and feel ourselves getting more hopeful and getting more opportunity in a very practical kind of way in a new area of life. So based on your sun sign, based on your moon sign, your rising sign, Jupiter will bless your life in new ways. So to find out how and to get an early look into how, head on to my website, nadiyashah.com. And of course, those horoscopes will be available on YouTube to the public on YouTube in the month of September. But if you want an early look, visit my website, and I look forward to seeing you there. It'll be great. This move of Jupiter into Libra will be great. Enjoy.